I'm calling to order the regular meeting of the Solvang City Council for Monday, April 23rd, 2016. Will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Jameson? Here. Toussaint?
Here.
Waite?
Here.
Zimmerman?
Present.
Mayor Richardson?
Here. Will you stand with me for the pledge, please? Place your hand over your heart and repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First thing on the agenda tonight is a presentation by the 50 Home Challenge with Supervisor Joan Hartman and myself and Devin Hartman too. We'll be discussing it. I'm going to start out by saying that the 50 Home Pledge was launched in October of 2017. It's a partnership between the County of Santa Barbara, the Empower Program, and CHIRP, which is the Community Home Energy Retrofit Project. The goals were to engage and educate the entire community on the benefits and the opportunities around energy efficiency, and to inspire 50 homeowners to make the energy upgrades to their homes. I'm going to ask Devin Hartman of CHIRP to come up and share the accomplishments to date.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Should I address little bit of everybody?
Well, you may, yes.
Is that okay?
Sure.
So
it's a presentation. You're free. It's your free will.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us here. Hello, everybody. We started off a few months back with the idea of coming in and educating the population in Solvang about the opportunities around energy efficiency. Not only can we save money by using less energy, but the opportunities to insulate and air seal a home and increase the level of comfort and increase the indoor air quality in a home. These things were very exciting to me as I first learned about them as a builder and running an architecture company. And so the state is incentivizing the entire community by giving rebates to help retrofit their buildings. And there's all these opportunities, but a lot of people don't even know that they exist. And so that's why we're coming into communities to educate and hold workshops to let everybody, all of your friends and neighbors, know that there are opportunities to retrofit your buildings and be more comfortable and use dramatically less energy. So I have a couple talking points here. After the last few months, we have had significant conversations with over 230 people in the community about energy. We've hosted 14 public events and attended other community events that were already going on, kind of piggybacking on. We've had 42 energy assessments delivered. The county will come out and do an actual free energy assessment for you in your home to tell you how you could retrofit your home to be more comfortable and save energy. And to date, we've retrofitted 2 homes, and we have more homes in the pipeline. And so we're just here to celebrate a little bit, and I want to introduce Supervisor Hartman, who's been very kind to come and be with us today to deliver the plaques in celebration of our first 2 homeowners who retrofitted their buildings.
And we're both the last name Hartman, but we're not really related.
No.
We're committed to this cause. And we're very grateful to Mayor Richardson and to the entire Solvang City Council for supporting this effort. I was part of the early Solarize Santa Ynez that was done by Community Environmental Council, and so I was the first in that program, and I'm so glad to be here to honor the pioneers here for the 50 Home Solar Challenge. It really is helpful to have somebody who will come in and do an audit and then have contractors who are vetted, because when you don't know a lot about these fields, it's kind of difficult to know, can you really trust this person, one, in your home, and two, to give you really good quality for what you're paying. So I really appreciate the whole program and what you're doing, and I'd like Peter and Yuta Eichinger to come up. You're our pioneers and path breakers, and how was it?
It was very, very good, great experience. We really enjoy our new
comfortable home now.
And what changes did you make?
Well, we did insulation and the heating and air conditioning, and that pretty much surrounds then some lighting and whatnot. So, and it really is true. I mean, the house is comfortable, and what did they say? You may notice the air quality. Our son would cough at night. He
Yeah.
no longer coughs at night. We didn't
Right.
even think that was
Yeah.
Hey, that's terrific.
So-
Yeah.
Well,
And
thank
dust
you so
allergies.
much. I really am
Thank
glad
you.
to know.
Let
And
me get, let me get a
Eric and you can-
There you go.
Right.
I'll stand over
All
here.
right. This isn't really mine. I haven't earned it. Thank you. And Eric and Megan? And here's your plaque. And again, what did you have done for your 50 home challenge?
We had a bunch of work that needed to be done anyway, and the timing was really good for us.
New roof, new insulation, new water heater, new split system, mini split.
Right.
AC and
All,
heating.
yeah.
And did you
Yeah.
save some money in the process?
Well, we're not sure
There's
yet.
gonna be a big pile at the end of the year.
We're not sure, but we have definitely noticed that our home is more comfortable. It is retaining the temperature much better,
Wow.
and the appliances aren't working so hard to keep our home.
Yes.
Yeah, especially in
Temperature.
these hotter summers that we've been having, that really helps.
We'll
Yeah.
find out.
And a
Yeah.
lot of people have been having house parties or sending out social media explaining, that it's a good deal. So
Yeah.
please promote
So
this
do it.
program.
Yes, do it.
Thank you very much. Thank
Let's get it ready. Another.
Thank you again for
Thank you
allowing
so
us to
much.
use this forum to promote this great program.
Thank you and congratulations to both the homeowners. It's a great process.
Thank you so much.
Thank you much. We're at public communications, written or verbal. This time, please direct comments to the City Council regarding consent calendar items of matters not on the agenda but within the jurisdiction of the Council. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. I have a couple of speaker slips. We'll start with Tracy Farhad, followed by Karen Palmer.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, and members in the audience. Tracy Farhad, Executive Director of the Solvang Conference and Visitors Bureau, for your tourism update. So we are anxious to see what kind of numbers we were able to change when it came to March, and I'll get a little closer. Maybe that'll help. The door. First, I wanted to let you know now, sometimes it makes a difference. It obviously makes a difference what month Easter falls in. But we saw a 60% increase from over February, March for bookings on our website. So it's really handy that we had the spring break and Easter within March in that time. But that just shows you that people were starting to come back and they were seeing it in the businesses as well. Some last minute stats that we were able to get from our survey for Taste of Solvang event. Out of the almost 1,200 tickets sold, 88% came from California, but 11% came from other U.S., including Nevada, Utah, Colorado. 21 states were represented at our Taste of Solvang this year. I thought that was a really significant stat to be able to show. What I also wanted to mention was last year, 2 years ago, we hosted a tour operator to come to town. They were looking for additional hotels to put into their lot, if you will, for people to search. I think you may have mentioned me saying this one particular company and their website as a wholesale operator for interest had over 2.5 million searches for Solvang, and the year before it was 1.5 million. So we were able to bring them out. We hosted them. We set them up with other hotel properties in town, and we're happy to show that from 2018 versus 2017. So in the first quarter of 18, we've already surpassed the amount of rooms that were booked through this one particular online travel portal. So all of 18, And we've now, I mean, the first quarter, we've surpassed all of 17 through the one property. So we now have 4 properties that are listed with this company. And I also wanted to show that our midweek has also surpassed what the total midweek sales were for 17 out of that particular company. So people are interested, and we're moving the needle on that midweek sale. And then I also wanted to just thank, we had quite a few partners who were instrumental in bringing the Central Coast Tourism Council event, 3-day retreat. I want to thank the mayor and Councilwoman Joni Jameson for attending our After a Crisis Lessons for Recovery. And I also wanted to thank the VSYV and Buellton CVB for being our co-sponsors of this event that came through. We had a wonderful After a Crisis Recovery lesson panel of 4 experts. Basically, they became experts because they were in the middle of all these crises that have happened all the way up and down the coast. And I also wanted to thank the Hotel Cork for being a great host hotel, and also the Alisal Guest Ranch for really bringing out the great experience for Solvang. So thanks again.
Thank you, Tracy. Karen Palmer.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to see you all again. I'm Karen Palmer. I'm the founder of Eco Angel Enterprises, which is a local nonprofit organization that's dedicated to bringing kindness, compassion, mindfulness, and social emotional learning to the schools. I'm also now the top 30 kindness leader nationwide. I'm one of the top 30 kindness leaders nationwide, and I just came back from a kindness conference that is reaching, we are going to be reaching 24 million people as a collective. We've become a kindness collective, and I'd love to invite you to be co-sponsors in a kindness concert series that we want to bring to Solvang as a prototype of what's possible for our world. We are in an amazing opportunity right now to believe in kindness again, to believe that it's possible to change the narrative that has been going on in our world. I was just with the man who started Random Acts of Kindness 20 years ago, the man who started World Kindness 20 years ago. I myself was the person who brought Earth Day here to the San Ynez Valley. I'm very honored to have been able to also bring the Global Women's Summit, which was the first Global Women's Summit that we had here in Solvang. It was the first of over 200 that were done all over the world. I would love to see you become partners with me in bringing this on a global level. I have taken my abilities to the level that I can, and I need support. I love Solvang, and I believe that Solvang has an opportunity here to show a prototype of what's possible for our world. I witness it every day, you know, being out with, seeing the tourists, seeing the people. This is an opportunity to truly, truly put Solvang on the map as one of the kindest and most compassionate cities. I've been working with amazing organizations, and they're going to be coming here to Solvang if we do these concerts. We can collaborate and offer beautiful, beautiful opportunities here. Joan, I'm really excited, and I hope you'll think about being a part of this, because we can collaborate with Kindness Matters, with Random Acts of Kindness, with the top people who are kindness leaders, and we can bring kindness and compassion as a curriculum to our schools to end bullying, to end violence. We have a huge opportunity here, and I've witnessed it over and over. The statistics are there. I've been going into the schools for 15 years now, and I've seen what's possible. I've also seen the epidemic that has happened with these bullies and the situations that are happening with the violence that has come on to our world. Don't think it's not going to be here next. These children need help. They need support, and they need to be able to learn how to navigate their emotions. There are huge traumas happening in our
Karen,
world.
I have to stop you now. You've exceeded your 3 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your passion is evident. So thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you.
Shelley Grand and Brady McPherson.
If you are interested, you can get in touch with me. Yeah, thank you.
Actually, if you leave a copy with Lisa, then we'll get a copy of that later. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Shelley Grand, and
Well,
I'm the
welcome. I'm
sorry.
glad to see that we've got a crowd here. It's great. It's great that you're here, and kids, I hope that you come back often. It's really, seriously. It's as you grow older, you'll learn to appreciate it more. Go right ahead.
So my name is Shelley Grand, and I'm the director of Zaka Center Preschool, and we're here to thank you for the grant that you awarded us last year. You gave us the opportunity to continue our preschool program. As you know, we were run by the Santa Barbara County Ed Office, and they wanted to close our program. With your support, we were able to keep the program open. We offer services to 65 families within the San Ynez Valley. 25% of those families reside in the city of Solvang. So we're here, and Brady has the children have made something for you all as well, and Brady would like to give a thank you as well. Go ahead. You say it. You can do it. So use your voice. Say it loud.
Thank you for giving money to our school.
Good job.
Thank you, Brady.
Make sure everybody gets one. Go ahead, Mateo. Make sure everybody gets one. Okay? Wow. Amy, Mateo, go ahead. How about right here? There you go.
Thank you so much.
Good job. Okay, now come over with Miss Annette. We only have 3 minutes. Go quick. And they would like to do a quick song for you, if you don't mind. The more we get together, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. And these three kids are alumni.
Thank you, kids, for the gifts. They were very nice. Thank you very much. I have no other speaker slips. Does anyone else wish to speak at this time? Chris?
Good evening, Council. Thanks again for a wonderful afternoon. What you guys did today was really important. I appreciate that. I think that the residents do as well. Can you hear me? So, at any rate, I just wanted to say thanks again. And more importantly, I'd like to encourage you guys to start thinking about doing town halls. It could be once a month, it could be once a quarter, doesn't matter. But I think something in a more intimate setting where you guys are engaging, interacting with the public. It could be in the grandstand out in the park, for example. But that way, the public might feel more willing to engage with you on a variety of different subjects. And it would give you guys a chance to hear what the public's thinking and feeling. And it would probably make them feel more comfortable being around you and asking questions in that kind of an environment as opposed to being up here and perhaps feeling nervous. And maybe, again, they have more opportunity to come out in that kind of an environment as opposed to coming out once a month or twice a month. So at any rate, my point is, what you guys did was great today. Please follow it up with town hall meetings.
Thank you, Chris. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Seeing none, on to the next item on the agenda is the city manager's report.
backwards, huh?
Uh-huh.
Just a few things. One, before the next city council meeting, there will be the Wine Country Half Marathon's coming to town. So Mother's Day weekend, you'll see some lane closures or road closures on Friday and Saturday with the finish line coming in to Solvang Park. And
What is the date?
May 12th.
12th.
May 12th. And then Matt just announced today that the Creekside Spur Workshop for the bike trail options will be May 30th here in the City Council chambers at 6 p.m. And then lastly, just another one of those anniversaries. Jenny McClurg in our Recreation Department celebrated 10 years with the City of Solvang.
Yeah.
So
That's really,
yeah.
can't believe it. Jeez.
Makes me feel pretty old. But that's all my report.
Thank you. Next is council comments and requests. Would you like to start, Ryan?
No comments tonight.
Joni?
Well, like Tracy said, I attended the crisis workshop that they had, and I thought it was, I was very impressed. And you could tell that the people had worked very hard to make sure that their communities were surviving. And some of them still have obstacles. I mean, Montecito obviously still has obstacles, but Monterey County is still struggling because of the closure of Highway 1. They were informative. They were on task. It was a fairly decent crowd, I thought. I have no idea what the rest of the workshops were like, but it was good, and I'm glad that I went. And I think the mayor was probably happy to have been there, too. And then, on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, a great event happens in the city of Solvang. That's when the rancheros visitadores come riding through between 500 and 700 horsemen on horseback, and they go to the mission for the blessing of their ride. And if you haven't seen that spectacular, you need to come and see. It is, the only time it's better is when they push the longhorn steer through the city, but they haven't done that for a number of years. But it is a special treat, and I would invite you all to come and observe.
Thank you. Karen?
I attended a couple of events since the last meeting. I went to the Green Luncheon for green businesses, and it was a pretty amazing presentation by UCSB and how they have really done a great job. They were the keynote speakers with sustainability and lack of food waste, which was a big deal. So they've gone trailless. So they spoke about that, and then various awards were given out to recipients of the Green Award, and those were for businesses that had recently become certified. And then on last Friday, I attended down in Santa Barbara. Hannah Beth Jackson had an awards ceremony for Women of the Year, first responders. So that was quite an honor to go to that and meet these women that did selfless acts during the natural disasters that affected so many of us. And then finally, I attended the, which I'm not going to refer to as the Creekside Spur. I'm going to refer to it as the Sunny Fields Spur meeting, and that was held at the Chumash Casino, hosted by their director of hospitality, and just to kind of go over alternative routes. So, and that'll be coming up in future meetings.
Neil?
Yeah, just one comment, and it just regards the roads around here, and so I'm sitting at Alamo Pintado, and I'm waiting at the stoplight, and I'm actually slowing down at the stoplight, and this dude just like blows right by me, like literally just full on runs the stop, and I'm like, well, what would cause that? Like literally, like there's like actually people here at this stop that are getting ready to, waiting to turn or whatever, and given the benefit of the doubt, I was looking at potentially maybe it's the striping on the ground, or I don't know, maybe we need flashing lights on the stop signs. I just want to bring it to the awareness of the council and staff or whatever, because it's pretty gnarly, like how fast he was going, and he just like blew through that. and it's a big intersection. It kind of sits up on that. I don't know. Just the visibility there is kind of.
Where on Alamo Pintado?
I'm sorry. The main four-way stop right there, like.
Old Mission. That Old Mission.
Old Mission.
Yeah, Old Mission. Yeah. Yep. And then the other spot happened to me. Same thing. Dude just blows right through, like going like I don't know, 60 miles an hour seemed like, but 5th and Mission. He ran the stoplight, so that's a little bit different. But I don't know, something to think about as far as all the stuff we've been talking about with traffic and whatnot.
I'm going to join in here. Alamo Pintado and Viborg. People just do not see that stop sign for whatever reason, and they just come swishing through there. They stop when they get up to where the Old Mission, where you're talking about, but they're going 60 miles an hour along there. And even though we put up our jazzy little speedometer sign out there, it still doesn't seem to work.
Yep.
We can look into some enhanced enforcement.
Or painting maybe even, I was thinking about, does it help if we paint the reflective on the
so
pavement?
what we've been doing on the stop signs in those higher areas is we put the red reflector on the pole. And those seem to have, we get a lot of comments about they make them more visible. So, I mean, some people you're just not going to help. You know, it sounds like a guy going that fast probably is not really paying attention to much anything. So, but yeah, we have tried to do some, we just recently did it at Copenhagen and LSL. We put the red reflectors on the pole, and that seems to help. At least at night, it's even better. So.
Okay, cool.
I was at the intersection when they blew by you because I blew by me too. I was trying to come out of Nielsen's and yeah, right, yeah, boy, it was something. And I had 3 things to talk about. That was one of them, and Joni brought the other 2 up. Is the interesting thing about the crisis meeting was the county of Monterey, the fellow that was there that made the presentations, indicated that I believe he had protocol for 7 different types of emergencies, and he didn't feel that was enough. And these other representatives were geared up for 2 or 3 or 1 or 2 different emergencies like earthquakes and floods, but there are other emergencies also. And that's what it started me thinking that maybe we need to look at the possibilities, of what emergencies we might be involved in and be prepared for them. And then May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo, you got to go out to the Mission and watch the horsemen come across that valley. If you're a John Wayne fan, it just fills that thing out to you because there are just magnificent animals, a lot of guys, and the blessing itself at the Mission is a wonderful thing to see, and to honor the flag and to honor the blessing of the animals. But that's the extent of my talking. With that, we're on to the next thing, which is correspondence received by City Council. We had some interesting correspondence. We might want to discuss. Was a letter that we received from the city of Los Alamitos regarding exemption from California sanctuary state law. And they sent along their ordinance that they voted into effect last Tuesday. Now the city is a small enough city. They have 44 seats in their council chambers. We have 72. They had over 400 people out in front of the council meeting that night, with police from the city of Los Alamitos and surrounding cities keeping the peace. So I'm bringing this to your attention. If we want to pass on this or bring it up or discuss it later on, that's up to you, but this is correspondence that we are recognizing. And the other was correspondence from an individual who lives in Creekside, not me, wasn't my correspondence, indicating that the needs, but we'll have to be cautious about running bicycles through Creekside. Any comments? On to the next item, which is the consent agenda. Does anybody wish to pull any of the items on the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'm going to mention, since Shelby's here, it was a great report, Shelby, and it was a very well done year. Thank you very much for that. you, along with Tracy, of course, and the other Tracy, are the guys that bring the visitors to our town, and your successes are our successes. We have revenues so we can make the town as nice as possible for our residents. I think that our residents must understand the importance of the tourist business, the tourist industry, and the benefits that we receive from them. So thank you again, Shelby. With that, can I have a motion accepting the consent calendar?
I'll make the motion to accept A through E.
Is there a second?
Second.
Well, will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Toussaint?
Yes.
Zimmerman?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Wade?
Yes.
Mayor Richardson?
Yes, and that passes with a 5-0. On to item 5.
Item 5, Investment Policy Annual Review.
Staff report.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Sandra Featherston, your Director of Administrative Services. Each year we're required as a best practice to review and adopt our investment policy. There were minimal changes this year, only just updating with the California Debt Advisory Commission the list of possible investments. So the change was very minimal. As a reminder, last year we did invest in some CDs, and so as of December 31st, we've earned about $6,152 in interest. We did 4 staggered CDs, and in the investment report you see that, but we did a 12-month, 18-month, 1-year, and 2-year CDs. And those interest rates range from about 1.25 to about 1.9%. The better interest, the longer you hold the CD. One thing to note is that LAIF, the local agency investment fund with the state, is now earning closer to 1.5%, and so we will be thinking about that as we go forward, about whether it's better to invest in that pool or to still invest in maybe a little long-term CDs as the shorter ones start to mature. Other than that, we're just recommending the adoption of the policy for the rest of this year. Since we're in March, I figured it'd be best to just adopt it for the rest of this year and then for the 18-19 fiscal year as well.
Are there any questions? I have one, but I thought I was in here, and that was the return on the CDs. Mm-hmm. Is that in here?
It is not in here, but it is in the investment report that I provide, the quarterly one I just sent to recently.
Okay. Yeah,
so
my question regards that one.
Okay.
Is that CD? Is that a front-loaded CD? Because did we invest $1 million? Let me put it that way.
We invested in 4 separate CDs at $245,000 apiece. We want to make sure they're under the FDIC limit of $250,000 per CD. So that's what we did.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. It was $1 million, and the total wasn't $1 million, and I thought they were front loaded, but they're not. So good, $6,000 is good. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll go to the audience for comment. The public, is there any public comment regarding this item?
Sorry.
Chris.
I got a quick question for the council, and I guess for Tracy. Why not just use treasury bonds, like short-term treasury notes? You can get them in any type of duration you like, and if you need to get out of them, they're very liquid, unlike a CD. Just a thought.
Okay, thank you. Any other?
And they're paying much higher rates.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the council for decision action. Anybody?
I think it's great. We need to continue to exercise our efforts in investment, and any return's a good return. It's better than flat.
Is that a motion?
No,
Staff
accept,
recommendation?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? That passes with a 5-0 voice count. On to item 6.
Item 6, second reading of ordinance amending Chapter 6-1, Animal Control.
Staff report.
As you will recall, on March 26th, you had the first reading of this ordinance, and because we are adopting another agency's ordinance, we had to have a public hearing for the second reading. So this, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. We are essentially replacing the bulk of the city's animal enforcement ordinance with the counties, so that there's common enforcement on all activities across the city limit line and into the county. So that's in a nutshell, we're going to adopt the county's code to make it much easier for the residents and animal
And we
control.
reviewed this last.
You did review this 2 meetings
Do-
ago.
do
And
do
Jan
we-
Glick is in the audience if you had any questions for her on the
Do you have any,
county's
do you have
ordinance.
any, Ms. Glickman?
I don't have any prepared comments. It will help for consistency, so we appreciate that you're considering this.
Thank you, Jan. Okay, we'll go to the, is there any questions of the staff report? Go to the public for public comment. Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the council for action. Does anybody have any comment, questions, or can I have a motion? May I have a motion?
I move staff's recommendation.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Can I have a roll call vote on this one, please?
Councilmember Jameson?
Yes.
Waite?
Yes.
Toussaint?
Yes.
Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mayor Richardson?
Yes, and that passes with a 5-0. Thank you, Jan. Next are council member reports. Is there any? Does anybody have a report?
I just have an update. The Library Advisory Committee meets on Wednesday, and Brian and I are having lunch with the Santa Maria head librarian just to discuss with her the possibility of joining their zone.
Good shot. Good move. I have an SBCAG report.
Oh, no.
Report taken. Thank you. It was really, we had a large consent agenda, and I won't go through all of them, but significant ones are that we provided money for changeable message signs on Highway 166. The Highway 246 passing lanes landscaping project. The Highway 246 will be completed in May, and we'll probably have a ribbon cutting in June. I just drove it yesterday, and the ride was nice, but I thought it was going to be more than just 3 lanes. I thought it was going to be 4, but it's a passing lane highway with some cutting of the hill at the road near the top of Tularosa Road to extend the sight line. The Measure A Citizens Oversight Committee. There's Measure A. Part of the measure was a vote to have a Citizens Oversight Committee, and one individual moved from the county, and so another was brought in, and that was Lori Tamora, if you might know her. She's been around for a while and is an excellent individual. Went over the 2018-2019 overall work program and budget. Was a good presentation, very satisfying. And went over the draft Measure A program of projects for the fiscal years of 2018 to 2022. In Goleta, there's a Goleta ramp metering study that was in process to improve flow through on the 101 through Goleta, and they're going to make a recommendation to install metering ramps, especially southbound in the evening. That's working. Northbound in the morning isn't as bad as southbound in the evening through Goleta, because of the student and faculty departure from the UCSB campus increases the traffic load about that time. And also there was a report on the Coast Rail Coordinating Council. Since the debris flow in Montecito, it was found that the train was a great time saver and a wonderful ride through Santa Barbara. SBCAG has had for several years, since the study called a lane and a train, have been trying to get a train coordinated so that it arrives in Santa Barbara at a reasonable time in the morning and departs Santa Barbara at a reasonable time in the evening, southbound into Ventura. And they initiated the program on April the 2nd. The first week, they only had one train arrive on time. but the second week it improved, and it's improving on and on. They project, this is a pilot study for 2 years. They projected at the end of 2 years there will be 200 regular riders. They've almost gotten to that point in the first week. They've got 180 riders. And of course it may have had something to do with the free passes that they gave them. So, and because of the startup problems, they've extended the passes to more riders. So, but they expect it's going to be a very good success. The city of Goleta is talking about expanding the train station in Goleta, just for that reason. The Metropolitan Transportation District, Santa Barbara City, has set up 4 or 5 shuttles to shuttle people away from Santa Barbara, the main train station and the Goleta train station, as part of their ticket price. So it's been a very successful startup, and there's more to come. And that's the end of my report. Does anybody else have a report? Does anybody else have any comments on this evening's activities? Is everybody happy? Yes. Well, with that, then we'll adjourn the meeting. Before we go. May 14th is next meeting. We'll have the first reading of the marijuana or cannabis ordinance to approve it or not, and then we'll also receive the SYVT drug and alcohol policy update. And on May 29th, which is a Tuesday, we'll have the SCVB contract renewal, the building permit fees, and updated city council goals at that time. So that's in the next month. Now we are adjourned.